Hello there, hope you are well. Hi again. This is going to be a pre-recorded lesson, just in case your teacher isn't there to do the live lesson. It's going to focus on lesson 4 of Scratch, which is all about operators. So what I'm going to do is a bit of a recap of what you should have done during your lesson last lesson, bit of recap of the skills and the knowledge and the keywords, and then you can go away and you will do an assignment on Teams. Okay, so I'm going to start off. We're going to talk about comparison operators, and what I've got here is a Scratch program, and the idea it's you sit a test and it's a pass or fail. Okay, so if you get so many marks out of 100, you pass. If you get less than that, you fail. Okay, so what we've got here, first of all, we get our event is when the green flag is clicked, and then it's asking the question, what was your mark out of 100? It's waiting for our answer. So if you remember, when you're taking input from a user, it needs somewhere to store it, and this is called a variable. Okay, so we have to take our answer and store it in a variable. I always kind of refer to it like a chest of drawers, and on each drawer you need to have a label to remember what's in that drawer. So the first thing we need to do, we have to remember our answer. Now we've got a variable here called mark. Okay, so what we're going to do is set our mark to our answer. It takes our answer and puts it into that variable or that drawer labeled mark, so it remembers our score. So I'm just going to green flag. Okay, and says, what was your mark out of 100? Let's say I got 23, and hopefully you should predict. Now the mark there, that's going to change to 23. So you can see our variable, our little drawer there is storing our data. Let's run it again to check. Let's say we've got 99. Okay, brilliant. So now we need to see is if that mark is enough to pass our test. And this is where we use our selection. Okay, so this is our selection block. All right, and every selection block has a condition, something to test for. If that evaluates true, it does what's underneath there. If it evaluates false, it does what's underneath here. Now, what we're testing for is if our score is enough to pass. In this case, the pass mark is 50. Now, this is our first symbol. It might be quite small on your screen. Can I zoom in a bit? Yes, I can. So here, this green block, we have this symbol there. It means greater than, okay? And this is our comparison operator. We're comparing what this is to that. Is whatever's in this box greater than that? And what we're comparing our mark. Let's grab that variable, hello, and let's put it in that box. Okay, so this is our conditional statement, okay? And this then goes into our selection block right there. So there we go. It's saying if the mark, which is in our there, is greater than 50, then it evaluates true. If it evaluates true, it's going to do whatever's in this space under here. So if it is greater, that means we're going to pass. So that is going to go into this box there. If it evaluates false, in other words, it isn't greater than 50, it's going to say fail. Okay, let's just run that. So first thing to do is asking for our mark. Let's say we've got 45. Predict what's going to happen. Okay, because 45 is less than 50, it evaluates as false, and the cat says fail. We always test it for both possible circumstances. So let's get a good mark. Let's say I got 88 out of 100. So I predict it's going to evaluate as true. It's going to say pass. Okay, difficult one here. What do you think will happen if I put in 50? Now this is what's called boundary data. It's right on the boundary. So what do you think is going to happen if I put in 50? Okay, it's going to say fail. Because 50 is 50 greater than 50? No, it's not. Okay, so it evaluates as false. Now, if you wanted 50 to be the actual pass mark, okay, what will you do with your conditional statement? Okay, well, what I would do, a nice easy one to do is I'll just change that to 49, and that'll cover everything from 50 and above for our pass mark. Okay, so now if I do 50, 50 is a pass. Now we check again with our boundary data of 49. That hopefully should say fail. Okay, So there is an example of using a comparison operator, where you're comparing a number to another number if it's greater than. And obviously, if it points to the left, it means less than as well. Okay, and this is used quite a lot in programming when you're comparing numbers. Right, now we could take it a step further, but what I'm going to do is going to move on to logical operators. Okay, so here is a little program I've started to create, and the idea is we've got a football match on a Saturday, like a kids' league sort of thing, sorry, a teenagers' league, and there's only one game going on, all right, and it is the Reds versus the Blues, all right. So we only want the game of the Reds versus the Blues, and it's an under 15 match, and you've got to be fit in order to play. So there's a few different things going on to make sure. And let's say you're a player, you're turning at me to see, well, can I play football today? Okay, and there's our little referee. So let's have a look. We've got a lot of stuff going on here. So we start off. Let's see what happens as it's not actually was not actually complete. What happens now? It says, hello. Today the Reds play the Blues, and it says, which team do you play for? Okay, so let's say I play for the green team. Okay, nothing happens. All right, so let's have a look what happens first of all. Now, we've got a variable called team. Okay, so the first thing we need to do is make sure it remembers our answer. So let's just drag that into there and let's run it. Okay, hello. Today the Reds play the Blues. What team? Let's say I play for green. And now you can see now it remembers our answer. So green, let's run it again. Let's play the Blues. I play for a red. Okay, brilliant. So we know that variable is storing our answer. Now, the first thing we need to do is the referee needs to check, well, are you playing today? Are you red or are you blue? So we can see here, we've got a selection statement. All right. So here, it's not just one condition. It's not just one team playing, because that'd be pointless. You need to be if you're red or if you're blue. And this is where we use this block here. Let's zoom in a bit so you can see. Now, this one uses a logical operator. Okay. So this is where we can have two possible conditions, either this one or this one. Okay. Well, what are our two conditions? Well, it's if our team is, oops, what's happened there? Ooh, there we go. It's if our team is blue or if our team is red. So with a logical operator, if either of these conditions evaluates true, then this condition evaluates true. Okay. So if we meet this condition, we then need to go, and then we're going to go do a subroutine, which is check player. We're going to check to then see if they're old enough and if they're injured or not. If it evaluates as false, then sorry, you're not, your team isn't playing today. Okay, so that's quite complicated. Let's have a look. So here in our conditional statement, we're seeing if either the team is blue or red. If neither of these conditions evaluates as true, it evaluates false, and it does that. Let's run that. Hello. Today's Reds versus the Blues. Let's say I play for the green. Okay. What do you think is going to happen? It says, sorry, your team is not playing today. It evaluates as false because we don't meet either of these conditions. Okay. Let's run it again. Let's get it right. So we have to say we're playing for red. Okay, and then it moves on to the next subroutine, okay, which we'll talk about in seconds. Let's say for blue. Ooh. Okay, and then it moves on to the subroutine. So that way it evaluates true. And let's try it one more with the false. Let's say I play for the purple. Or your team's not playing today. Brilliant. So this is our first conditional statement, which uses a logical operator, which is the OR. Now, let's move on to this subroutine called check player. And this is going to check their age and if they're injured or not. Okay, let's have a look. So it's first of all, it says, how old are you? And once again, what we need to do is to make sure it remembers our answer. So we've got an age variable. So it's got to remember our age. Okay, and then it has, are you injured? Okay, you've got to be honest, and so what we need to do then is put that in there. Okay, I'm just going to double click and run this subroutine and just check it works. So double click, let's say I am 15. What do you expect to happen to the age variable? Oh, why isn't that working? How old am I? 15. Oh, there you go. Remember then, 15. Am I injured? Let's say yes. You can see the variables change there. Let's run it again. Let's change my age to my real age. Oh, it's doing everything now. I'm playing for the Reds. I am 41. Am I injured? No, I'm okay at the moment. Okay, so we can see that it's remembering our variables. So now we've got a conditional statement. Now, if you remember, what we're going to do is it's got to be for an under 15s game, okay, and you can't be injured. So we've got two possible conditions. All right, so let's have a look. So in this case, in order to play, you've got to meet two conditions. You've got to be under 15 and you can't be injured. And this is our next logical operator, the and. In this case, two conditions have to be true in order for the whole statement to evaluate as true. Let's do the first one. Let's have the age. So we're doing an under 15s game. So if the age is under 15, okay, that's got to go true first. That's going to go into our and one there. And the next thing is you can't be injured. So if injury equals no. So here's our next logical statement. If the age is under 15, that's got to evaluate true, and this has got to evaluate true in order to play. So you have two things you have to meet in order to play under 15, and your injury's got to be no. Otherwise, sorry, you can't play. Okay, let's just run that. Let's say let's do my age, I'm 41. Am I injured? No, I can't play because I'm too old. Okay, let's try it again. Let's say I am 11. Am I injured? No. What do you expect to happen? We're good to play today. We are below 15 and we're not injured. Okay, let's try a different combination. Let's say I am 4:30. Oh, sorry, I was doing everything. Sorry, let's do blue. I'm playing for the Blues. I am 12. Am I injured? Yes, I can't play today. Okay, so it's not perfect. Some of you may have spotted the fact, well, what it should tell you, why you can't play. So either you're too old or you are injured, and you could develop the program a bit more to have that in there. And that's what uses what's called nested selection. I haven't got time to go through that with you at this stage. The key thing you understand is these logical operators and these comparison operators. Comparison are these symbols, greater than, less than, equal to. Logical are these ones saying and or not. Okay, so hopefully that kind of recaps that part of the actual programming. What I need you to do now, ladies and gentlemen, is you need to go onto your team, okay, your computing team, and there will be an assignment for you to complete, okay, as part of your lesson. So you've had your recap. You need to now, for the rest of the lesson, go away and do the assignment on Teams, which is going to ask you questions about this. Okay, if you have any questions, please email your teacher. So thanks very much for listening if you have been, and make sure you go away and complete that assignment on Teams. Okay, thanks very much. Speak to you soon.